Go and visit that building at street level on Wacker Drive. The middle one of those three buildings doesn't even touch the ground. How is that possible? It's because it is being borne aloft by the other two, kind of like holding up your drunk friend after a tough night, right? Aloft by a spine wall. Engineering is so cool. Now there's another Studio Gang building kind of peeking out at us from behind the buildings on your left. The one that's got the wavy balconies, we're going to see a few kind of glimpses of it tucked back there. It's called Aqua, and it was finished in 2010. It is also mixed use, just like the St. Regis, part hotel, part condos, a couple of restaurants in the bottom. Now, I'm going to make a recommendation to you all. Visit that building at street level. Okay, how many buildings have I taught you about so far? These are the first two I said, make sure you see those up close. Because I guarantee you, 99.9% of Chicago and do these boat tours, they're never going to see Aqua close up. They think like, okay, I've already seen it. And from the perspective of the river, it is nothing as cool as it looks up close. It's about a block north of Millennium Park. So walk up a block on Columbus, stand in front of Aqua, and look up at it. Talk about the art of architecture. It is stunning. Now, straight ahead of us, you can see the shape of Trump Tower from this perspective. Trump Tower is the second tallest building in the city of Chicago. He had done that, actually a very similar design. Now, to the right or north of Trump Tower, you've got the Wrigley Building, which we can see from this angle is actually two buildings. The left half 1921, the right half 1924. The whole thing called the Wrigley Building, designed by Graham, Anderson, Probst, and White, same people who gave us the Merchandise Mart. And if you jump across the street from that, you've got the Apple Store done by Foster and Partners, but tucked back behind the Apple Store, the building with the flying buttresses up on top, that's a lot of people's favorite building in Chicago. That's my dad's personal favorite. It's almost Father's Day, so a little shout out to him. That is called the Tribune Tower, an old newspaper headquarters by Howells and Hood. I would call that an Art Deco cake with French Gothic Revival frosting. Why French Gothic Revival frosting? Well, because the specific inspiration for that design, which was an award-winning design, is a 15th century Gothic church in Rouen, in France. If you're curious about it, ask me at the end of the tour to explain to you things a bit differently. More than just a laundry list, you're starting to look at things a bit differently. Now, before we get to our next building, I have a favor to ask of all of you. Once again, I remove my sunglasses so I can guilt you all into participation with eye contact. From this moment forward, we've already done it a little bit, but from this moment on, we are together going to be the waving boat. Okay? And we all know how to wave, no matter how old you are, no matter where you're from, we all know how to wave. So everybody wave at me. And if you don't wave, you're just a big old grumpy person, and I feel sorry for you. And that is the last time we are going to wave like normal people, because my boats, we do not wave like mere peasants. We wave like royalty. Okay, so it's kind of like you're fluffing someone's hair. It goes like this. So try it out. Look at all your cute little hands. I love it. And yes, we can still raise a baby. Okay, which was actually the predecessor dance move to Raising the Roof. Did you know that? Yeah. Now, what's really fun is trying to convert people to our way of waving. So let's see who we can get on the bridge right here. He's filming us. We're going to be on the TikTok. Let's do it.
Go TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Go YouTube Shorts. Go YouTube Shorts.
What's your TikTok handle so we can see how good we all look? All right, back to architecture. Remember how I listed off all those architectural elements on the London House Hotel, a Beaux-Arts style building? Well, here we have another one on your left with these 10 pianos at the rooftop corners from 1926. That's called the Jewelers Building. And I'm going to have you do a little bit of exercise. Turn back to your left. There's a building with gold up on top that I really like this angle on it. She's kind of nestled back there amongst all those other buildings. Real gold on top of a building, even if it's been pounded to 1 5-inch thick, is absolutely frosting on a cake. So that'll tell you it's probably an older building. It's from 1929 as an Art Deco office building by the Burnham Brothers called the Carbide and Carbon Building. But great news, nowadays, that's a hotel. And so you can absolutely go on silver on the windows. This is a post signed by the Irish architect Kevin Roach. Now, once again, if I tell you a building is postmodern, the first thing you should ask yourselves is, what is it secretly referring to have fun with architecture? What's the secret? So it has to do with all those bits of silver on the windows, those mullions, and what the namesake of the building, the Leo Burnett building, what they do for work. Does anyone know what the Leo Burnett agency does? Advertising, you got it. Think of characters like the Jolly Green Giant, the Keebler Elf, Snap, Crackle, Pop, the Elf from Leo Burnett. joke, talking to each other, and then you do a tour like this, you can finally hear what they're saying. Now I'm going to take you 1 building up, 2 buildings up, 3 buildings up to this glass box with the cuts taken out of it. This is a residential building, an apartment building, finished in 2014, and it's just known by its address. They're on Wacker Drive. What I think is really interesting though is that this style is so new, we don't even have a name for it. Okay, you can't really name a style while you're in it. But I recently did a virtual tour series with a bunch of 3rd graders in the area, and I would teach these kids about Beaux-Arts, Art Deco, modernism, postmodernism. And I would show them pictures of that building, and I would say, it doesn't have a style name, what do you want to call it? Right? Let's become part of the conversation. And I'll tell you this, to hear the creativity coming out of 8-year-old kids' mouths, my favorite one, I'm trying to push it on all my tours so it becomes a thing, sky mirrorism. Is that not the coolest thing you've ever heard? Sky mirrorism? Yes, you just saw a sky mirrorist building. Walk. Every bridge-to-bridge segment is a little bit different, okay? And this is something that stretches the length of the main branch of the Chicago River. It wasn't on the South Branch, it wasn't on the North Branch. It stretches basically the main branch, and we built it over about 20 years, 21st century. Now, every bridge-to-bridge segment is a little bit different. Everybody's got their favorite. My favorite is probably this part over here on your left. Because look at these gardens, but look at them carefully, actually moving. Those are floating gardens. How cool is that? Think about coming back in the evening, take a nice romantic walk along the Riverwalk, right? Listen to those gardens knocking around against each other in the water. The lights all come on the buildings. You get that gentle rumble of the elk going by, giving you Chicago vibes. Right? Come back and take a walk along the Riverwalk. It's actually, I think, one of the prettiest walks you're going to get in the city. And that's what to do 50 years ago. That's not something you would have wanted to do 100 years ago. Remember, our river was so gross it was flammable. So the fact that you're visiting Chicago now, when we have made the Riverwalk a nice place, make use of it. Now we're about to pass under, if I may, Double Leaf, Fixed Trunnion, Pony Truss, Bascule Bridge. This is also the bridge that connects Gotham with the Narrows in the movie Batman Begins. And if you look over here on your left, I said we were going to come back to this green building from 1983. Besides being Ferris Bueller's dad's office building, this one was designed by the same people that gave us the pink building in the Sloan Peterson and Fox. It's an office building known by its address, 333 West Wacker Drive. But most importantly, that's another postmodern building. So what is the secret? How is it having fun with architecture? What's it secretly talking to? Well, here's the answer. See how it's got that curve to its facade? That echoes the curve of the river where it's located. It's got green windows for the water in front of it, blue windows for the sky behind it. Isn't that cool? So one way to think about those postmodern buildings is, if you take that building from where it's at, try and